There are artificial intelligence opportunities all around us. If you are working a 9 to 5, or if you're building your own business and you're just like, hey, how do I integrate artificial intelligence in my business? I'm going to talk about that in this video. I'm also going to give you 5 opportunities I feel like everybody should be jumping on right now. Now, if you haven't watched my video from yesterday, and I know most of you guys probably have not, it's a long one, 36, 34, 35 minutes long. It's a good one, and it really kind of sets the stage for why I am talking about these things today, because I have, after creating that video and really putting a lot of thought and artificial intelligence into our business, I'm really feeling like I've got a timeline that I want to follow, utilizing artificial intelligence in our business and utilizing artificial intelligence to make as much money as possible while we still can over the next 10 years. And if you haven't watched that video sets the stage. So I'd highly recommend that you go and watch that one. Throw it in double speed because you'll be able to pick up everything that I'm talking about. It just sounds like a podcast. And I know you guys, if you're brand new here, you're like, who is this guy? Why doesn't he edit? Why isn't there flashy, cool edits and stuff like that? It's because I want to get content out to you guys as fast as possible. I want to do this every single day because it's good for me to stay committed. And then also, I just have so much value to offer just based off of all the wisdom that I've collected building my business over the last number of years into multiple 7 figures, trying to get to 8. So if you're here for the very first time, just understand that artificial intelligence and business growth are going to go hand in hand with what I'm doing as I'm growing, scaling my business to 8 figures, and what I feel like every single human on this planet should be focused on right now if you want to be successful in your life. Just to give you a quick recap, if you're like, hey, I ain't going over there, I'm just going to give you a quick recap. Basically, artificial intelligence is saying that within the next 25 years, within the next 10 years, it's going to basically automate everything, and it's going to be massively disruptive for a lot of industries: medical, transportation, education. Almost every industry is going to be touched by artificial intelligence and be impacted by it. Within the next 25 years, I don't think we are going to, we won't even recognize, like the kids that are born 25 years from now, they'll look back at us right now. And it's like how we look back at people in the 1400s, like sailing across the ocean blue with Columbus to, my daughter's calling. Pausing. Anyway, family first. We're going to look back. Our kids 25 years from now are going to look back at us in 2025 and be like, you guys lived like cave people. How did you ever exist without a Neuralink implant in your head that placed you in the reality of your dreams? Woo, scary. I actually had some comments from yesterday's video about the book of Revelation and the mark of the beast. Yeah, you guys, like, trust me, I think the exact same way about this stuff. Like, is this it? I don't want to get into like the spiritual context in this video. I think that there's definitely some like interesting things, interesting parallels. But I do want to say this: between now and 10 years from now, you have an opportunity to absolutely explode a business using artificial intelligence. Repeat it. Using artificial intelligence. If you're not in business using artificial intelligence in 2025, and your competitor is going to be 10 times more productive than you. He's going to be able to handle 15 times more clientele than you, especially if you can automate your systems. So for now, between now and probably the next 5 years, you got to be building with artificial intelligence. And I've told you guys this before too. And I think I showed some examples. I showed you guys examples. So I got a comment from somebody who was like, how about you show some examples, bro? Like, I did. I built a custom GPT that has been blowing up one of our YouTube channels. It's actually been very successful on a number of our YouTube channels at creating ideas, creating thumbnail designs, creating title ideations, creating scripting frameworks. It's exploding. We're integrating it into our business, and we've been able to scale past our highest high simply because now we have something that can replicate my brain and place it into any of our employees. The biggest problem with feeding the AI machine, and this is why I say this is only going to be good for the next 5-10 years. The biggest problem with feeding your IP into the machine is that the machine is going to have all of your IP, and so it'll just be able to draw from your information in order to distribute that to the world and help create other ideas and help other people in your industry use your ideas to for their I'm struggling here for their ideation, to help with their standard operating procedures, to help them with scaling up their business that is like your business. The more you feed it of your information, the more that information becomes less valuable. That information becomes less valuable. Now, most people in most big companies are doing the wrong thing. And there's a reason I'm saying this. Most of the companies are like, there are a lot of companies that are like, we cannot use artificial intelligence because it's scraping that data and we're giving away all of our own IP. That's thinking with the competitive mindset. We have to embrace that this is inevitable. It's inevitable. And whether you feed it, whether your company feeds it, or so-and-so over here feeds it, it doesn't really matter because it's going to get the information anyway. If you're talking next to your phone about your IP, your phone's going to collect that information. Scary, but it's true. It's inevitable. You cannot lock up secrets any longer. They won't stay locked for much longer. We have a window right now, and that's why I'm saying 5 to 10 years. So here are opportunities. These are 5 opportunities that I'm telling you, these are things you want to be doing if you're starting a side hustle or if you're just starting from scratch, or even if you're integrating an offer into your business. We're even hopping on some of these things as well in our business because it makes our business more valuable. We got a short window to bank as much money as possible. Now, it also happens that this is extraordinarily valuable because everybody needs it, but I just want you to know that it can make you very, very wealthy in a very short period of time. All right, number 1, create micro AI tools. Create micro AI tools. So my custom GPT is an example of a micro AI tool. It is not Scott Simpson's brain in a computer. Not all of my brain is in this tool. It is the YouTube strategy part of my brain. And it's like 90-ish% of the YouTube strategy. In fact, the way that it organizes information, I would say, is even better than the way that I am able to articulate and organize information when it comes to YouTube strategy. If you can create those types of tools, you can sell those types of tools. I know people who are, we've got somebody who's in our coaching program right now who is selling a webinar tool, or he created a webinar tool that creates webinars for you in his frameworks, in his formats, and he's selling it. Super valuable. I know Austin Armstrong is a good friend of mine. He's my partner in AI marketing world. And he has a tool called Syllabi. And it's basically in a one-stop shop for all of your content creation. So you can go into Syllabi. I'll put a link. I'll put my affiliate link down in the description. You can go check it out. And if you like it, use it. It's pretty cool. But it will script out your content. It will even edit your content for you. And then you can schedule it straight from their app and it'll upload and optimize all of that good stuff. He's created that tool. They're doing like over, I don't know if his numbers are public. I think they are. They're doing, let's just say, multiple hundreds of thousands of dollars a month in subscriptions to that service. He's making micro tools. He's also making random micro AI tools that are just solving little teeny problems. And then he's selling those tools to people who are like, hey, that's actually pretty cool. Oh, you're making some money with it. I will buy it for XYZ hundreds of thousands of dollars. Micro tools right now to solve any problem that can be solved with artificial intelligence. If you make a micro tool, an app, or a SaaS, even a custom GPT, you can sell that and you can make a ton of money. You should be doing this anyway because you got to be playing with it in any of the knowledge, random knowledge that you have, even if this is like categorizing screw types. Like, I don't know where that one came from. Like, this one's got a very fine, what is it even called? Threading. This has got a very fine thread. This one, categorizing, like if you're a savant at any specific set of data, like information, and you can turn it into a tool. Pokemon cards, like, are you a genius with Pokemon? Are you a genius with Star Wars trivia, right? What can you do with that information in a tool that people will pay for? Micro tools, hands down, extraordinarily easy to create with artificial intelligence and very, very sellable. You just have to be able to articulate a value to an avatar person who could be a potential customer. Number 2, custom GPT biz. Now, I've talked about this a lot. This one is one of my absolute favorites. People who jump on it, know how to market it and sell it, will absolutely destroy. So if you're not creating, and if you're not good at creating and selling micro tools, if you're just like, hey, I don't have anything of value to offer, any education, any knowledge that's value to offer, but I know a whole lot of people who have a ton of education, they got a ton of experience, they got a ton of knowledge that they can leverage. You can go and create custom GPTs for them. And the more successful they are, the more valuable their information is. The more valuable their information is, the more you can charge them to do it for them, and the more they can charge other people to use that tool. Or they just might want to use it internally. That's totally fine too. Custom GPT biz is a huge opportunity that I'm not seeing a lot of people take advantage of. Actually, somebody on my last video when I talked about that was like, I'm going to go do that. If you're watching, let me know how it's going. All right, number 3. This kind of goes in hand with like, what can you bring? What specific skill sets or what problems can you go and help other industries to solve? So like for one, I put like SOP Organizer, right? You could go into a business, a small business that's doing like $1 million a year, and they're kind of scattered. Usually when they're at that range, they're kind of like everything is everywhere. They don't have a whole lot of systems locked in. You can go in and help them create an SOP guide, an SOP workbook that's like this thick, just by asking them questions. And then having ChatGPT, taking the transcripts from those questions, feeding it into ChatGPT, and then having ChatGPT create custom books, create custom SOP guides or employee manuals, training manuals, anything like that. That is a huge opportunity, and artificial intelligence will it will trim down the time to produce something like that significantly. And you can go in and start your own agency or whatever, go and pitch that as a service, wham, bam, you got yourself a business that you could turn that into millions, I say. Number 4, this is for people who are in the medical industry, medicine. And I would say not just even medicine, education, anything that is information based. I would even say like attorneys are probably some of the first to go because artificial intelligence, attorneys are like grounded in logic. Most of the time it's very like logical flow that they put together, and it's just finding holes in contracts and then sealing them up with oh my gosh, what's the word for different segments of an agreement? Just filling them up with articles. Maybe that's it. Filling it up with individual articles. I don't even know if that's the right thing. I do think that attorneys are going to have. It's going to that job is going to be significantly reduced. Most of the things that I hire attorneys for now, I'm just using ChatGPT for, and then I'll have my attorney review it and just tell me, "Yep, that looks good." Or maybe you should add this in. But the more that we add in, the more we're training ChatGPT to be thinking about that. You can also feed a contract into ChatGPT and just be like, are there any loopholes in this? What are some of the loopholes? And it will go through and it'll be like, well, this possibly. And then it'll be like, would you like me to create amendments to fix that? Or clause, that's it, clause. Why was I struggling with the word clause? Would you like me to create a clause to fix that? Or would you like me to rewrite so it seals this loophole? Absolutely. Okay. When I typically spend $1,000 an hour on an attorney to go through a contract a couple of times and just make sure all the clauses are airtight, ChatGPT can do it in 5 minutes. And then I'll have an attorney review it. Yes, this looks good. Eventually, we're not even going to need an attorney to review it. That's where we're going. Medical anything. Medicine is probably, if you have any knowledge in medicine, if you've got any knowledge in the way that hospitals are run, in radiology, in diagnostics, in blood work, anything like that, and you can be creating artificial intelligence tools right now that could make you absolutely billions in the short term. Again, all of this stuff is going to be handled by artificial intelligence in the future. And so there's a very short window for you to get extremely wealthy. You got to hop on it right this second. If you're a nurse and there's an aspect of your job that's always problematic, or there's always room for interpretation, but you can train an AI model to learn how to do something or diagnose something the right way, then you could create something that could make you a mega millionaire. The other thing, I'm just telling you guys, like anything in the medical community, like we are going to see everything from medicine altered, diagnosis altered, radiology altered, surgery altered, because like, why would you want a surgeon with human hands to fix you when you have a microscopic molecular level precision robotics robot that can do it for you? That's where we're heading. That's where we're heading, guys. Woo! Some of you guys are going to argue with me. I'm telling you, like it's happening, and it's exciting but scary. All right, and then number 5, artificial intelligence workplace training. Now, hear me out with this. I know that sounds kind of lame, but if you're studying artificial intelligence, like I study, I play, I learn it, I'm reporting on the news, I'm reading all of the news, I am integrated into this entire industry as much as I'm integrated into YouTube because I'm using it in our industry, and the two have a lot of overlap. I mean, artificial intelligence says overlap with everything now. There is going to be a massive demand for artificial intelligence workplace training. You guys, I have conversations with people at church, and they're like, yeah, my boss had us do all of our reports in artificial intelligence. We didn't know how to do it. And oh no, that was actually somebody. No, that wasn't the comment that he made. There was somebody at church who specifically said that they had their boss have them start using artificial intelligence, and nobody has any idea how to use it effectively. There is going to be a massive demand for workplace training on artificial intelligence. And I used to be I wouldn't say a professional speaker. I used to be a public speaker. I would travel around and I would speak, talking about our books. And I would always run into people who were professional trainers. They would go into corporations. They would teach on Excel. They would go and they would teach on workplace harassment. They would go in and be hired to do motivational speeches to, rah, get everybody excited about Q4 or whatever. There is a huge demand for artificial intelligence trainers, and it's starting right now. The more that you can build your name, get your brand out there, get your name out there, the faster you can grow a business in that space, and you can make millions of dollars being a artificial intelligence workplace trainer. Huge opportunity. All right, you guys, if you're interested, AI Marketing World is coming up in October. I highly recommend that you come to it. We've got the top speakers in the world who are speaking at this event, talking all about how to use and integrate artificial intelligence into your business. You need to be there if you're taking artificial intelligence seriously. It's the best conference. It's going to be the best conference in the entire nation, probably even in the world. Grab your tickets in the links below. If you have any questions about this, I'm curious to know your thoughts. If you're as serious about this as I am, or if you're just laughing at me, that's fine too. Doesn't matter. I got where I am because I make bold predictions, and I believe what I tell myself. So This is what I think is happening, you guys. This is what I think is happening. All right. Catch you on the next one. Bye.